What is up, ladies and gents? In today's video, we're going to be talking all about Jasmy. I'm going to be discussing what's been happening here on the charts, as well as why I think is actually a decent spot to be buying Jasmy right now. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to the channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you all here. So diving straight into this video, onto the charts here on Jasmy. Of course, it's been a while since I've made my last video here on Jasmy. And the reason for that is that, as you guys can see, from basically the start of December, we've been in a downtrend here on Jasmy. The trend has just been completely downhill. And of course, we've reached an area now at 1.7 cents that could be a pretty decent support here for Jasmy. If I zoom out here on the charts, have a look at this grey line that we have here as a support for the Jasmy price. This has been a support for the Jasmy price now for basically the past year. You can see it started off being a support back in February 2024, and since that point, we've tested this support on Jasmy literally 6 times since then, and most recently we've come down to test the support once more. Of course, as you can see, if we zoom into the most recent candle there, the prices came down on this wick and again bounced back up. So we know at this area here on Jasmy we have a relatively strong support, and if you look out throughout the whole history here on Jasmy, every single time we've come down to the support, we've bounced back and started a new bullish trend here on Jasmy. The first time that happened back in May 2024, we pumped 191%. Again, when that happened at the end of 2024 there in November, we pumped 266%. And now, once again, history is repeating itself and we've come back down to this level. Now, of course, if we see a bounce from this area, then we could expect the prices to kind of repeat what they did back in 2024. And of course, if something like what happened over here occurs once again, we have an extremely nice price target here on Jasmy. The minimum price target that we could expect to see, in my opinion, takes us 308% in the upwards directions towards 6.8 cents. Now, of course, this is a dynamic price target. The longer it takes here on Jasmy to go in the upwards direction, the higher the price target becomes. At the end of 2025, for example, we could be looking at nearer 10 cents here on Jasmy. So this is definitely an exciting prospect. This is also a well-known pattern, an expanding diagonal. We have this upper resistance line that's been tested on 2 different occasions. Every time we've tested this support, we've come to pump up to this level. So we can reasonably expect that Jasmy might be able to do it a third time. Of course, that makes for a nice at least 4x here from where the price currently is. So first and foremost, I think this is as of right now, I do think this is quite a favorable setup here for Jasmy. On top of that as well, Jasmy, as we know, really likes the Fibonacci levels. These fib levels that we draw from this pump that we had back at the start of 2024, as you guys can see, serve as really good areas of support and resistance for the Jasmy price. For example, that first pump that took it to the first fib there, followed by this second pump that took it to the 1.272 fib almost perfectly, and then the next pump here took it up to that 1.414 fib almost to a T. So if we get another pump in the upwards direction, a major price target that I could expect to see from this pump is this 1.618 fib. This is the golden fib level, and if we start to go in the upwards direction, given that we are able to pump past all these previous fibs before it, then we could see Jasmy hit the top there at this 1.618 fib, and that currently lies at 8.6 cents here on Jasmy. Now, of course, that would present itself as a 5x from where the price currently is. So again, a really nice opportunity in my opinion. And on top of this bullish setup that we have here on Jasmy, the fear and greed index also supports the fact that we could be seeing a bounce. Have a look at the fear and greed index here on CoinMarketCap. What we're seeing at the moment is a value for 21 here, which is next to extreme fear. Maybe that's why you're seeing quite a lot of bearish sentiment in the market at the moment. But this, my friends, is the lowest it's ever been since it's been invented here in July 2023. Even when Bitcoin was 25k there in September 2023, we only saw a bottom of fear there at 32. Just just for comparison's sake as well, if we go back to September 2023 here on Jasmy, you can see that that almost marked the complete bottom of the Jasmy coin price. So when there's fear in the markets, it's never a bad time to buy anyway. Again, we saw fear in September of 2024. We saw a bottom down there at 30 in September 2024. Again, if we correlate that to the Jasmy coin charts, you can see that although it wasn't the absolute bottom, nonetheless, you would have still been in profits if you held for just a few months after you bought at that sentiment. And now we're seeing record low sentiments. I do believe that at some point we're going to start to see greed and extreme greed enter the markets once again. Maybe in a few months' time, we'll be looking at the Jasmy chart and wishing we had bought when there was fear in the markets, aka right now. Of course, there is always the risk that we break down below this support level here. Of course, there is a bearish case scenario that could be had here as well if the markets continue to dump. Instead of this being an expanding diagonal pattern, maybe this presents itself as a double top. It's not very likely considering that these two lines are not parallel, but nonetheless, if we do break to the downside from this support, then it could trigger off this pattern here, this double bottom pattern that we might be seeing. And of course, the price target from that is all the way down back at 0.5 cents here on Jasmy. So basically where the price was before it started that pump back in 2024. So this is the bearish case scenario for everything. Of course, it is a strong support at the moment, but if we do break down below the support, just be prepared for this scenario here on Jasmy. But if history repeats itself and the support continues to hold, then we could see a really nice pump going into the future. Something that's kind of guided me on this decision, something that's also telling me that we could see a bounce here on Jasmy, is the fact that if we just go on the whole total crypto market cap, this one here, this chart, in my opinion, is very, very bullish. What we see when we zoom out is a massive 3-year long cup and handle pattern. And this, my friends, is a very bullish chart pattern. What we see is the resistance going across from the 2021 high to the 2024 high there. We got this really beautiful cup formation. We got a 6-month long handle formation, which presented itself in this downtrend here. We saw a breakout to the upside from this cup and handle, and that set the price target here in motion. The target for this pattern here sits at currently $10 trillion in market cap. And as of right now, we've seen the prices kind of retrace a little bit back down to test this resistance of the cup now as a support. And we've seen the total crypto market cap bounce from this area. So this was very, very significant. It's basically like a retest of that resistance that we had here. And what we would expect to see from that is a bounce back upwards. Of course, there's also a bearish scenario. If the prices do fall below the $2.5 trillion market cap, that would invalidate this whole pattern. But right now, we are seeing a bounce. And of course, at the end of the day, the price target from this sits at $10 trillion. So if this total crypto market cap is going to 4x this bull run in 2025, then what we would expect to see in Jasmy is at least perform just as well as the total crypto market cap. So 4x on the total crypto market cap is at stake here. And of course, at least a 4x here on Jasmy to the 7.5 cents region. Of course, if we are going to be going higher here on Jasmy, then we can forecast where we might see some next resistances on Jasmy along these Fibonacci levels. The first one after 1.618 presents itself here at 2.618, and that's 50 cents here on Jasmy. A very, very ambitious target if we continue to shoot upwards. Of course, after that, we could be looking at $3.36 if Jasmy really is that bullish. But for now, my main target, in my opinion, for 2025 is sitting at this 8.6, 8.7 cents region for this 1.618 fib. Of course, if it can get above that, I would also expect 10 cents on Jasmy to be quite a big area of resistance, just by the fact that it's a large psychological area, very similar to 100k Bitcoin. When the prices got there, we saw a lot of selling pressure. So the same could be here on Jasmy as well. If we can get past 10 cents, maybe we can see this as the price target at 32 cents as well. The previous high there at the end of 2021. A nice, ambitious, but not too ambitious price target, you know. So potential 20x here on the cards if we can get to this level. Very, very nice. But yeah, right now, just wanted to make this video because I do think the risk to reward is favorable here on Jasmy, particularly if you are a trader. Like at the end of the day, you could set a nice little trade here on Jasmy. If we get a long position, you set the long position all the way to the top of that resistance here on Jasmy. Let's just go back on the 1-day chart actually. You set that long position all the way to the top of the resistance up here, and you put a stop loss just below where the support is currently. If we start to lose that support, then we do not want to be in Jasmy. But as long as we keep to that support, then the upside, in my opinion, is quite likely. So really nice trade here. Of course, that's all I really wanted to say in this video. Just giving you a quick update here about Jasmy and some of the price targets that I'm looking at. Of course, if you are holding Jasmy, do let me know down in the comments. Let me know what your personal price targets are for Jasmy in 2025. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in my next video.